Good afternoon, my sexy people. Good afternoon, my sexy fit machine. Good afternoon, West Yorkshire. It's your girl, Queen T, representing and still trying to make the nation healthy the right way. Not using your weaknesses, let's put it that way, making you stronger. Anyway, not about me. Bring Stiffy to Ticky Tocky. Unfortunately, we had some major news line for you guys that don't know. Unfortunately, a mother of five, unfortunately has lost her life to a non-surgical BBL that was performed. Obviously, I'm not in the beauty industry, but I am in the health industry. And obviously for me, one of my major things is to really show people the power of exercise and what it can actually do. I've seen a massive decline, especially with women, seeing as I own a women's only studio. A few guys that don't know, my name's Tiffany, Sexy Fit, and I own a company, a brand that I established in the year 2005 called Sexy Fit, and that's what I do. It sounds a bit tongue-in-cheek in terms of the name, but the brand's quite, expert and professional in the fact of the message and obviously my efforts to try and show people the benefits of exercise and eating right and having a balance throughout life. And again, going from my sort of industry, and seeing that decline, especially in women, just shows me that they're not understanding the importance of exercise and what it can actually do. And that's not just on the outer shell. This is the inner shell, in here, in the mind. When they say strong body, strong mind, that's exactly where it's coming from. Obviously, it's so unfortunate that someone has had to lose their life again, but this is quite common with the BBLs. One of the reasons why is the butt muscle, which we like to call, as a personal trainer, the gluteus maximus, which should tell you, huge muscle. Now, in a muscle, we have lots of nerves and veins, so there's too many in the butt muscle, so sometimes it might be a case of, oops-a-daisy, there we go, this can happen. And especially when you're dealing with non-surgeons. I mean, for me, it's been quite an eye-opener to see the amount of businesses that have popped up now with these aesthetics and, people going from, like, let's say, owning a sweet shop to now being able to put filler in people's faces. The courses have decreased in value quite a lot as well, so that means you can get a course pretty cheap. But I just think the surprising thing is where our heads are at. And I definitely think if we exercise more, I don't think we'd be in this much of a position. I think we're weak, and I think people use as weaknesses in the fact that, time is of the essence, money. And obviously the results in time. No one's patient. You don't have to work for anything anymore. You can pretty much go get a boob job in a day. This is where we're kind of at. And for me, I came from an exotic dance background, so I remember walking in and being surrounded by women that had cosmetic surgery. And obviously for me at first, I kind of thought, this is kind of what we do as women. You want a better body, go get one. You can just go pay for it. You can go get some boobs in that you've always longed for, etc, etc. And obviously I started doing my personal training course. That was the whole point of me actually becoming an exotic dancer, was to pay for the personal training. It was never a career choice. Like I've always said, it was definitely highlighted on GMTV, like they do with OnlyFans, making art, it's amazing. And that's how I ended up in it. But like I said, I was surrounded by these women. And, beautiful. And I always remember thinking, like one of my friends had 3. And I always remember thinking, but wasn't it the one that made you happy? How come you ended up having 3? And there'd always be some kind of complication, whether they weren't big enough, whether they're not sat right, whether they're ruptured, And I'm, we're talking 20 odd years ago now. I know, right? Save it, I'm joking. So there were a lot of pressure on me, but as a personal trainer and someone in the health industry, it never run right to me to be able to change your body, not through you, but by putting implants in or taking fat away or whatever else. And again, the body is a functioning thing. So if you function with it and you do it right, it will then give you what you need. And I think also we need to be on this understanding of we are literally blessed. God, you see what I mean? We are literally blessed. Some of us, aren't so blessed and, may be born with handicaps and disabilities and whatever else. And I think that's what we need to draw into again. And exercise is fantastic for reminding you that, you're doing something for your body. So therefore you have a sense of achievement and it all goes hand in hand. So I've never understood surgery. The second thing I don't get with any of these procedures is the risk. And it doesn't matter how good you are, there will always be a risk. If you go for cosmetic surgery, you will have to sign a sort of form to say, if you die on the operating table, this is not our fault. And I remember going for several consultations for my boobs. And I just remember thinking, wow, what happens if I don't wake up? Oh, no point in that. What I came in for boobs, didn't even come out. And not joking aside, this is like serious in the fact of where we are. And obviously, like I say, going on in the years, how much things have changed and looking at them and seeing them as a personal trainer, being in the health industry, since I was 15-year-old, I'm now 43. It's sad. And again, another thing, you go into gyms and I get it, and the results are never going to be there as much as they are with an expert. You might feel like they are, but I'm sure you'll be taking some kind of form of supplementation, fat burners, not eating, not doing things right. There's qualifications for everybody. And I think that's the same with these aesthetics. I think, like, for instance, I've had to do anatomy and physiology, for my background. And, like, people now can go into a gym and have no qualifications, but yet I had to have gym level 2 qualifications to be able to instruct you on the gym floor. But now there is no gym instructors, so therefore you are classed as level 2 instructors, right? Because they're basically saying, well, and that ain't the case, because half of us won't have even done anatomy and physiology unless it's for your career. And I just think, again, it's going to highlight the fact of where we're going wrong, which it shouldn't have to take a life to do that. This is where I always say with the government, they do not, unfortunately, have our best interests at heart, because I just think things could be so much simplified if they were. And I certainly won't be allowing people, or I'd certainly be regulating people who are going to use our weaknesses. You've got these young girls going out there getting these procedures now, and it's just like, that's so unnecessary. There's a lot of things like, Botox. People get confused on what thing is. Filler is something that you put in and it fills, and the Botox is something that just stops something happening. So obviously they inject the liquid in, but with Botox it just freezes, and it's actually quite good for migraines. So if you had doctors again, it started off with nurses administrating this, and then it's gone to now anti-wrinkle. So obviously Botox is a company, so now they call it anti-wrinkle injectors. But, a couple of years ago, you couldn't inject Botox without an actual nurse being there. So it's funny to see how things have changed, and it's just unfortunate that another life now has been taken for regulations to be implemented when that, again, even down to fitness classes and stuff. I remember Zumba coming out, and it didn't matter what you did, you could just go do that course for a day and be qualified. And it's just these kind of regulations that I think, we need to be accountable to. But I also want you to think about how the body works, and if you want something, then you've got to work for it. It doesn't come for free, and it certainly doesn't come at a price either. The only price is for you to actually be active and trying to feed your engine properly, get it moving, get it exercised, get it mobilised, get it stretched, get it flexed. All these things are what we are supposed to be doing, and yet the government doesn't highlight this and doesn't push this and doesn't use these experts, and it certainly didn't in COVID. That was a prime example. So yeah, it's just a sorry state of affairs today, and I hope someone listens to this and sort of has it in the head that you don't need to change yourself. What you need to do is improve yourself. So do things that can help to do that, as opposed to adding things or changing things. Learn to be happy. Sexy Fit certainly does that. Sexy Fit is a method that learns you to appreciate what you have and what you are. Because, at the end of the day, we're all amazing. We're all unbelievable. And it's astounding that we have life. And I just wish people had, take accountability for that and have a little bit of a think and just be like, do you know what it is? Wow. Unbelievable that I'm even here. Blessed I am. So yeah, on that note, I'm going to go because I've spoken for 10 minutes. I just wanted to put my take on it, and, and remember, Sexy Fit. It's always got your back, yeah?